Yo, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're doing well. This is Reyes Ramirez with the Resource Roundup. If you don't know, and if you haven't been here before, welcome. The Resource Roundup is, as it says, a roundup of resources available to artists and creatives in Houston, but also nationally, regionally, what have you. So you don't just have to be from Houston to enjoy these resources, but they are going to be geared a bit toward Houston creatives. But either way, Fresh Arts is a nonprofit arts organization that provides resources to artists, as I said before, in and about Houston. Um, but again, you don't have to be from Houston because, again, these resources that we're starting to be, we've always made available online, but now we're just kind of upping the ante on that. And so this is part of that. Ever since the outbreak of the COVID-19 crisis, we've been adapting, and you can always check out those videos from the past on our Facebook. Um, and so today, what today is going to be about again is sharing a bunch of resources and deadlines in conjunction with our artist resource newsletter that will go out later today at 4 p.m. And so this is kind of like a quick roundup, even more of a summation of those resources. So though we're going to go through a lot of deadlines today, it's not even all of it, which is crazy to think about. But again, the show must go on, right? And so if you've been here before, welcome back. And as you know, I always got to do an artist fashion shout out. Who am I wearing? You can't really see it well, but please, it looks really amazing in person. I'm wearing Vincent Fink's artwork. I'm actually going to show you what the image is supposed to be, what you're supposed to be able to see. But again, COVID-19 robs us of these moments. And so you should be able to see the drawing here, which is a really amazing drawing. It's so highly detailed, which is why I'm a fan of a lot of Vincent Finks' work. This is a drawing, I believe, but yeah, it's a really cool image that I like, and I saw it and I had to buy it. So here we are. So definitely check his stuff out, and yeah, and support a local artist. And so what we're going to do right now is we're going to go through a series of deadlines from our artist opportunity board that I've curated but have also been submitted to me. And so we have a good mix of stuff that people have submitted to me and stuff that I found. And you're going to find a lot of, in this context, you're going to find a good mix of opportunities for the literary arts, for visual arts, for dance, all that visual arts. So let's get to it. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can see what we have on the artist opportunity board. All right. So up first, we have the Santa Fe Art Institute's Harpo Foundation Emerging Artist Fellowship Residency. This is from what I understand, highly prestigious, and it's unfortunately due today. But again, if you have your stuff prepared, if you're someone who regularly applies to these things, to residencies and fellowships and grants, this is just another one. And if you haven't, well, we'll get to that in a second. But again, this accepts all kinds of artists, whether it be visual arts, creative writing, dance, theater, film, digital new media, performance art, and site-specific installation art, which I think is really cool that it's so open with that accepts so many different kinds of arts. You get a $500 travel stipend, a 6-week residency at the Santa Fe Art Institute, which includes a private room and bath, a semi-private studio space, and access to common facilities and basic tools. And so again, like this is a really cool opportunity. It's $10, which is kind of on the lower end of prestigious sort of applications. You're usually going to see like $15, $20, $25 up to upwards of like $50 to $70, but this one's just 10, which I think is really cool. And so yeah, check that out, the Santa Fe Art Institute Harpo Foundation Emerging Artist Fellowship Residency, and that is due today. And which is why it's also key that if you want these deadlines sooner, definitely subscribe to the Artist Resource newsletter. Up next, we have the Young Audiences of Houston Arts for Learning Lab. This is a really interesting, as an arts educator myself, I wish I could apply for this, but this applies mainly to dance, theater, and visual artists who are interested in um, upping or refining their pedagogical practice of teaching the creative, I guess, teaching different creative fields in regards, again, to dance, theater, and visual arts. And so if you're an artist and you've been looking to kind of add something to your CV or add something to kind of up your resume, I definitely consider this. This is due Friday, October 2nd. The main thing is that it's $125 to sign up and to register, but you receive $500 upon successful completion. So take that into account. It is an investment, but if you do it well, it more than returns that investment. So if you can, I definitely check this out. Especially again, if you're looking to up your resume or your CV. So definitely check that out. Up next is I'm sorry, I don't want to butcher the name. It's a gorgeous name, and I don't want to butcher it with my bad pronunciation. But this is a really great opportunity to provide a dance grant for Queer Women Plus dance artists. It is a $7,000 grant awarded to U.S.-based artists for making cutting-edge dance and movement-based performance work. And so what's really great is that, again, it has a very expansive definition of the word woman. It's unique that it's only $6. And so if you're in dance, Houston, I know, has a really robust dance scene. And so I'm always wowed and amazed by that, by the stuff being done in dance. And so this is, again, a Houston dance artist. This is for you. If you identify with any spectrum of the term woman. So please check this out. It's $6. And it's $7,000, which is a really great investment. That's due Sunday, October 4th. And then up next, we have the Halcyn Arts Lab Fellowship. That is due Monday, October 12th. This is a 5-month residential fellowship, and it's designed to provide support and resources to emerging artists working on projects which address issues of social justice, civic engagement, and community building. And so this is for emerging artists, and it's based in Washington, D.C. So if you ever want to expand your practice there, or if you visit there, or if you've ever been, then I definitely consider checking this one out. You get a shared studio space to focus on research, learning, and creative practice. You get a $5,000 stipend and additional funding available for materials and program expenses, 5 months of offsite residential accommodation, programs and opportunities, and networking. So this is a really robust program. It's free to apply. So the main thing is you would have to figure out a way to get to Washington, D.C. But again, these are kind of like really cool opportunities to up your experience and get access to things that you normally wouldn't have access to. So definitely check this out if you can swing it. Up next, we have Redbud Gallery's Sculpture Call for Entries. This is a gallery based here out of Houston, Texas. But they're accepting sculptures that they want to feature for temporary art installations, and are usually going to be up for 9 months. So it's outdoors pieces. They're going to be on concrete pads. The total weight should be under 1,000 pounds, which I'm no sculptor, but I'm sure that's, I don't know if that's per the course or if that's out of the ordinary, but I trust that you would know more about that than I would. But either way, the stipend is $2,500. That's payable on acceptance. That is due Thursday, October 15th. It's free to apply. So if you're a sculptor, definitely check this one out. Up next, we have Hand Paper Making Black Writers Fellowships. And they have 2 of those open for a researcher and a reporter. Hand Paper Making is a nonprofit arts organization that focuses on a lot of craft and handmade objects and products. And they also do a publication. And so the reporter and the researcher refers to their publication. And what's cool is that if you get this as a reporter, you receive a $300 award and a research stipend of up to $150. So I think that's a really cool opportunity to write an article, to do research on something if you care a lot about making handmade things, or want to write about someone like that. So the profile will be short form and eligible for publication in Hand Paper Making magazine. The researcher role is a research opportunity for a Black writer that will result in the publication of an original article in Hand Paper Making magazine. That receives a $1,000 award and a stipend of up to $1,000 for expenses incurred, included but not limited to research, travel, resources, transcription or translation services, site visits, etc. So I think these are really, really cool opportunities to be paid for your writing about the arts. And as an arts critic and writer myself, you always want to take up those chances whenever they come up. And these are primarily for Black identifying writers. That is due Monday, October 19th, and it's free to apply. Up next, we have the Artist Relief Cycle 7. We featured this before, and this one, I don't think they made it any different, except that they reiterate their definition of dire financial emergencies, but they leave it to the artist to define that. But they also define it as the lack or imminent endangerment of essentials such as housing, medicine, childcare, and food. So if you really need these funds, again, keep checking up on this. They're doing them in cycles. So we featured one of the cycles before. This is another cycle of this grant. So definitely keep checking up on this. I'm not sure if this is the last one or if this will be the last one. There might be another one coming up, another deadline. But again, if you need these funds, apply. This is free to apply to. Again, the eligibility is very straightforward. You just be a practicing artist experiencing dire financial emergencies, and you can provide your social security number and all that good stuff. So again, if you have trouble with that, again, you're always welcome to check out our Facebook Live videos, particularly the one with Texas Accountants and Lawyers for the Arts, the interview that we did where they go over a lot of these issues of what does that mean when you accept a grant or funds from a granting body regarding the COVID-19 outbreak, or crisis rather. So again, that is due Wednesday, October 21st. And then up next, we have a local kind of business or organization called the Ranch Houston, and they want to do a socially distant outdoor event, and they're accepting calls for outdoor sculptures or pieces, stuff that is meant to be displayed outside. So they're welcoming forms of art such as sculptures, land art and land-based art, short video pieces, and art that can be hung on a clothing line, anything that can be featured outside. And so this is more of a communal call for entries, open call for artists. So this is from the community. And so I think this is a really cool event that's going to happen. And the space is beautiful from what I've seen in pictures. So it is free to apply. It is a chance to feature your work in a communal space. So keep that in mind. But again, definitely check this out. This is October 21st. And finally, in regards to our deadline shoutouts and resources, the Idea Fund has just recently opened up. I believe it opened up not too long ago, maybe in September, but I'm going to say back in September, but that was like yesterday, literally. But this opened up again. It's round 14. As a past recipient of the Idea Fund myself, this is a really, really cool grant that is very open to really experimental ideas. And I'm going to let the people who administer this project, the Idea Fund, speak for themselves. We're going to show a segment that I recorded, So if I'm wearing a different shirt, it's because it was done at a different time. So um, let me go ahead and share that video, and so you can get some really cool insight and information on this.
And art coordinator at Project Trail Houses.
And I'm Mary Maxman. I'm the curator at the Award Feature Show.
Great, thank you. So what is the Idea Fund, and could you give some background on what that is?
Yeah, so the Idea Fund is a grantee program that is co-administered by Diverse Works Award Picture Show and Project Row Houses, and it's supported by the Andy Warhol Foundation for Visual Arts. And it's one of 16 re-granting programs across the nation that really it was initiated to create opportunities for individual artists to receive funding for projects.
Awesome. And then where can people find more info about this?
So for more information, people can head over to our website, which is theideafund.org. And when you head over there now, we actually have our application portal open for round 14, which when you read through, you'll kind of notice that round 14 has changed a little bit from our previous round. So for this one specifically, we're looking to support artist-driven projects with an emphasis on cultural and social equity. What does that mean, right? So basically, anyone can apply, but we are specifically seeking to support new projects developed by Black, Indigenous, POC artists, and encourage creative projects that raise awareness of local and social and social and cultural issues, including but not limited to anti-racism, systemic change in arts, reparations, colonization, Black Lives Matter, civil rights, and more. Right. So the application portal is open. The deadline is Monday, November 16th. Um, we are looking to award 12 individual visual artists, not individual, take that because you can apply as a group. So 12 visual artists with an amount of $5,000 each. So yeah, if you want to find out more information and get more details on the application process, go to theideafund.org.
Awesome, all the good stuff. And then
Yeah, that was a lot.
good, yeah. Thank you for all that information. And so some other particulars that I want to ask about is, well, one thing that's really cool about the Idea Fund is that it's not just limited to Houston. Can you explain that a little more?
Yeah, well, it's Houston and the surrounding area, and so there's several counties that are included, and you can see them all on our website of who can apply to it. And probably yes. So it's Greater Houston area, Harris County, and 8 surrounding counties that surround it. So this year we added Austin County. We have Brazoria, Fort Bend, Chambers, Galveston, Waller, Montgomery, Liberty, and Harris being the ninth one. So if you live and reside in any of those counties, then you're eligible to apply.
Amazing. And then finally, my last question is, in the guidelines, you use the language new and daring work. Well, by new and daring work, what do you mean?
Yeah, so we're interested in projects that are innovative, that have a visual background or rooted in visual arts. If the projects are collaborative, they do have to have some type of public engagement with it. We're also really interested in looking at projects that don't receive traditional funding. Mary, Cindy, if y'all have anything to add.
Yeah, and then we're looking for work that's not within a traditional scope, and so it's work that you need to be able to apply for funding for through traditional avenues. So, an example of what would be considered more traditional work would be like a painting show of 10 paintings in a gallery. What we're looking for is more work that doesn't really fit, and work that's interdisciplinary, and so it might be something that happens outdoors, or that's performance, or that includes different types of work together, interdisciplinary. So it's work that's a little more difficult to describe, a little more risk-taking in that it's exploring new ways of making and new ideas, and things that we can't easily fit into a box.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you all for coming, and thank you for answering my questions. Everyone, apply. See y'all later. There you go. So again, keep in mind. So there you go. Keep in mind that this is just not limited to Houston. So if you have any friends in the surrounding counties or in the surrounding areas of Houston, definitely let them know about it and apply. I received the Idea Fund once for a chapbook that featured arts writing and images from artists. So if you're thinking of a larger project, and if you're even part of a collective, I think that's another cool thing, is that you can be part of a collective, apply as a collective. And it usually is art that, or work that is outside the normal scope, and so of what art is. So absolutely check this out and apply. And so November 16th, that seems like really far away, but there are some things that you have to take into account in regards to the work that goes into a grant application. And we actually have stuff just for that. If you've never written a grant before, or you have, and you're looking for another way to approach that process, well, I'm going to show you some stuff that we've done in the past that you can definitely check out. And they're free. You can look at them right now even, so I'll show you how to access that. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen in regards to where you can find these resources. And so here, if you go to Succeed as an Artist and go to the Artist Resource Library, you can then find these downloadable toolkits that we offer for free. And so all you do is just send a download link, or you receive a download link. You just provide your email and zip code, and what you'll receive is a PDF of a grant proposal writing toolkit developed by me. And then you also have a project budgeting tips and templates. Same thing, except this one was developed by Julia Barbosa Landois, our grant writer, that we look to build our own budgets and templates. And so you're gonna get a lot of great information by looking at these. And we also have How to Write an Artist Statement and Bio by Isis Fernandez Rojas, a great local writer and educator. And we also have goal setting tools for creatives, also made by another great educator and artist, Epi Chad. And so these are really great resources that we provide for free on our website. We will provide the link in the comments below. But again, these are developed by people who have had processes that work for them and success in their process. So again, if you've never written a grant before, or if you have, you'll find new ways either way to approach these grant writing processes. And if that wasn't enough, these are visual and reading material. They also have little toolkits and exercises that you can do at home. But if you're more of a visual and audio learner, we actually have these available as videos that you can check out right here. And this one, again, is taught by me, Intro to Grant Proposal Writing. So definitely, again, if you're more of an audio visual learner, then I'd watch this, where it's a workshop conducted by me, also featuring Julia Barbosa Landois, who gives her own insight as a visual artist. And as a writer myself, I offer writing tips that you wouldn't get otherwise. So I usually do this in person, but because of the coronavirus crisis, you can access this totally free online. And with that, we even have, again, a video on project pivoting in uncertain times. And this is more along the lines of the budgeting toolkit that Julia developed. So either way, if you've never written a grant, again, this is a great place to start, in my opinion. If you have written one, this will teach you some new ways to approach that process. So either way, you're going to get something from watching them. And it's all free. So that's what we do. Provide as many resources as we can to artists in the community. And so there you have it. In regards to the resources we have available online, again, you can always access those for free on our website. And before we go, I just want to let you know of another project that we're working on that we've been cooking up in the background. So if you've been tuning in to our Facebook, into our events, you'll see our digital presences have been mostly in discussions or videos that we provide on Facebook. And you've also probably seen the Art on Tap Live with Sydney on Instagram. Well, as part of those initiatives of us doing outreach and programming online that is available to the community, we're also working on a podcast. And so I'm going to have, we're going to play a little bit of a clip in a minute. But what the Fresh Arts podcast is it's titled Should I or Shouldn't I? And we developed it, and we've been working on it. And what it is, it's a series of interviews that we have with local creatives and artists that seek to answer really what are seemingly simple questions, but are actually really complex and based on a series of life experiences by artists, for artists. And so what you want to get from these, again, the idea that when you make a decision, there's just so much that goes into it. So some questions include, should I or shouldn't I start a nonprofit? Should I or shouldn't I get an MFA? Should I or shouldn't I move to another city for its art scene? And again, everyday questions with decisions made just as regularly. But again, we're talking to artists who have found success through these modes and different decisions. So you can sign up for our podcast updates. It's going to premiere October 15th. And so we're going to play just a really quick clip to give you an idea of the feel. Oh, I suppose, okay, so we're going to play a clip, or so we're working that out. Hello, and welcome to Should I or Shouldn't I, a Fresh Arts podcast hosted by me, Reyes Ramirez, where we explore the decisions artists make every day to succeed in their creative practice. We invite creatives who chose different answers to these pertinent questions. There will be no right or wrong answers at the end of each discussion, so this is not meant to be a one-size-fits-all sort of deal. Rather, we're processing the complexity of said choices to seemingly simple questions in hopes of enlightening others to consider different factors and forming their own conclusions. And there you have it. So again, thanks for tuning in to the Resource Roundup with me, Reyes. For this edition, again, we're here every first and third Thursdays of the month. So again, if you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, definitely do so. We're going to send that out today at 4 p.m. Until then, until I see you next time on the third Wednesday, same time, same place. Stay safe, stay well, and apply. So thank you, and I'll see you next time.